Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with a look at the current state of black ice. We're currently set up as Germany. That is the primary focus of black ice. They, way back in Hearts of Iron 3 time, they did some polls, and from the polls it shows 70+% of black ice players play as Germany at least some of the time. It was a multiple. You could pick more than one. So, you know, some countries got 30 or 40% as well. But so Germany is the most popular nation to play. So that's what we're looking at it from. That gets the most emphasis. Compared to some of the earlier looks I've had at this game has matured very much. I know if you've been following the channel, you saw my short series playing as Czechoslovakia. So let's get started playing and looking at this. This is set up to have 0 days completion time, basically, so it takes a day. You want to do that. Get the Schutzstaffel if you want to have the Schutzstaffel playing. Now there's lots of research tabs. That's because there's lots of research options. Now you're starting with some of the historical based, and so you can decide to go down the slightly more efficient concentrated industry if you wish, but you do get these bonuses that you would need to re-research again over here. So we're going to go with the historical dispersed industry. We want to do construction, get that going. Basically a lot of things to fill, and I'm really liking a lot of this stuff. They're separating some of the things out. Get that researching. Now there are a bunch of national focuses and events, and we can take a quick look. You can see Japan. They're really trying to give the historical models not just flavor names, because if you don't understand, in Hearts of Iron 4 in the standard game, these are just simply flavor names, flavor pictures, and that's it. All standard models of aircraft here. These are blocked out for certain nations. Standard models, they're all the same across the board. To sort of make a historical model, you have to use the my mind is blanking on the variant system, where you come in here and you create a variant of it to sort of mimic the historical varieties. But here with this, they are really trying to do the historical types of aircraft to not just be flavor names, but to have their strengths and weaknesses. So a quick look at some of the nations we're not playing. That's why these are grayed out. For Japan, Italy so far only has a tank tree. I'm sure in the fullness of time they plan on doing, as you can see here, then the ships for, or the subs for Germany, but probably do ships and aircraft for Italy as well. So I don't know if there's much point in ships, but there is definitely tank and aircraft models. British tank models. Americans, okay, yes. So it starts off very linear, then broadens out to various types. I like this in that they're also trying to not force in slots that just weren't used by the Americans. Now, coming soon, see here, this is still a work in progress. The U.S. Navy, for some reason I don't know that we should be able to research that, but British ships, Looks like they're going to get their own. France, another coming soon, if you will. Okay, so that's just a quick look. Now with Germany here, I wanted to get back to this. We can start researching this. Remember Podcast's comment about something about not being historical. Actually, this is a historical start to a research time, because if you look at that, 200 and some days to get the first Panzer III prototype out in early 36. So this is a historical. In their early productions, they were like, oh yeah, produce 30 of these and let's drive them around for 6 months or a year or something. Obviously the next major changes are not until 38. So that's quite historical, actually, to start putting out these this early, but their numbers in actual use were very low. Ends in 44 here. Interesting. I presume they'll get to, well, they got this. Okay. So we could start doing the Tiger, but it takes forever. So that. Now here, they're also doing the historical models of aircraft, doing it very well, including the jets. That's looking very good. I hope you guys are finding this interesting. One thing I've noticed, because I have played a test game for a while, not a complete game, but they have expanded out the historical aircraft company, and these are all still 150 political points to change. That I think is should be changed. Go down to maybe 50, 60. You can do something like Messerschmitt here, and you can see all the stuff that they affect, but they only affect those named fighters if you have this in effect as you research those Messerschmitt fighters. The BFs are Messerschmitt. We'll get into that story some other time. Some of these other aircraft manufacturers, including down here in Henschel, which is more known as a tank manufacturer, but did make a few aircraft types. And so what you want to do is you want to jump around. Another reason I'm pointing this out now is if we start to research this may not matter, because this is really sort of a stepping stone to later models of the 109. But it does, if you want to start researching some of the other ones, you've got to jump around a lot. And I'm conflicted on this as just a general design concept. There are reasons why Germany and America particularly, but other ones as well, are the great powers, where China, a very big nation, India, very big nation that's a subject nation, are not majors, is because they did not have all the research companies producing all of these things. They were, China is a major country, yes, but it's not a major power. They built 0 battleships during World War II. I mean, to be a major power, you have to be able to. Soviet Union really didn't either, but they did have other things. So you can look at that kind of thing as to what makes it stronger, as opposed to having the other alternative is one is you can make the swapping out much cheaper. You don't necessarily make it free. Now you could, you could make each one of these to change, because like you can see here, some of these guys are at 250 instead of 150. You could make them, 5 political points and just swap them out. But if you want to make them cost, but not cost great amounts, you could make them, say, 50 points or something. So you're not swapping them out every other day just to purely get each and every little bonus. But still, you want to swap them out and target your research. So do the, you know, some of the Messerschmitt models all at once and then swap over to something else and do some other research. But so keep that in mind. And some of these others you'll get bonuses to research in a bit. The Navy here for Germany. That will allow us to improve some of the submarines. And a lot of bonuses, but we have a lot of slots as well. I hope this isn't too boring. Like I said, I have played, and I don't know quite right now what is the best. Let's do that. I don't know if we'll get a bonus for that one. And what happens here is once once this is done, we want to take 2 slots here and then here. So as well as once this is done here, we'll want to start researching more of these and this and maybe some of these other things. So we will have, in a short while, which is going to take longer. Yeah, let's do that. We will start getting lots of bonuses for other capabilities. Let's do reconnaissance equipment. And we might as well also at least start the research for flamethrower squad, which helps the engineers fighting forts in urban areas. So they've done a good job with that. Now, I want more civilian factories. So we're going to do that. Now here, this, let's first look at the Navy here. They're throwing us a lot of historical submarine and ship types here. And I don't... I'm going to get some of these done and out of the way. Okay, so some of these are going to be, well, 3 a year, but that's just going to be 1. So that's going to happen somewhat fairly quickly. So let's get these guys. Down, and what I want to do is just so that once one of these slots is free, they build them as fast as they can just to get them done, because they're, you know, might as well take a half finished submarine and get them through and done with it, because even though they're coastal submarines, these CS 3s, we can use them in the Baltic and places like that. So we want to get those burned through fast. Now, also do that to these destroyers as we rake up type. What happens is if you don't, these will continue to build with their one factory, the ones that have factory. And I don't know the way, and maybe I just don't know the interface well enough to keep it a partially completed ship in production, but remove the factory producing it. This is another good one here to deal with here, but I'll deal with that some other time. Okay, now we have lots and lots of factories here. One thing, I have modded the game from original. Some of them are standing mods, like I used my flag mod. I don't like the generic flag, because especially once you get down in here, it really starts looking like the Norwegian flag. Not that we see a lot of Norwegian flags to mistake it with, but this just sort of nice big bold flag works well doing that. We also have the Tanganyika for Black Ice mod installed. The other thing is horse artillery transport. There's sort of a baseline, and it's sort of hard to explain, baseline tech, and then there's upgrades for that tech that are some of these different vehicle types and use types. And these are sort of done in a way that you can substitute. Okay, the way to explain it is here. The battalions for Panzer I and Panzer III with Black Ice are different battalions. You don't fill up it's not just like in standard Hoi 4 where you have light tanks and they just use whatever light tanks. These use specific tank models within the range, and there's a bunch of ranges of Panzer IIs. It's sort of like that, and so sort of like there's default horse artillery equipment, towing or towed artillery equipment, and integrated up. And I haven't looked in all the details, but the standard one is sort of a standard base type, and then there's the first level of type. Well, they have one rubber for it, and Panzeroo explained and supports the idea that 1940s World War II high quality, I'm sort of putting words in his mouth, but high quality caissons and wagons would use rubber tires and that they worked better. Okay, they might. I don't know. I think to some degree it's how you build the metal tired. So actually it is a wooden, if you have, because obviously you can make the whole wheel out of metal, but the wooden wagon wheel, if you will, with a metal tire, often called rim, but tire around it, as opposed to a rubber tire. Now, I tried to do the show outdated equipment, and it wouldn't let me revert back to it. So I gather once you've either gone up in some sort of game mechanic, I don't think necessarily a Black Ice problem, you can't revert back to the basic base type or something. So I want to be able to build horse artillery without using any rubber, and I want nations, well, I don't know, like Hungary, to not require rubber for building the towing elements to artillery. And so I've modded that, and I get the idea that they want a better quality and a worse quality of horse-towed artillery. Cool. I just don't know that, since it's such a critical element to so many other things, is rubber. That's just sort of my commentary on this. So what I normally like to do is some of this stuff. And I sort of kind of want to just sort of slam huge amounts on it. But some of this stuff with where we have lots of fair amount of resources, I want to get into production. I notice here with the basic utility vehicle, we don't need rubber either. I didn't change that. Just need some steel or oil. Now we'll need a little more artillery. I think coastal artillery is enough. Let's get producing some of this stuff. Now there's lots and lots of factories now. I want to get into production. Some of the general types. If you know my playing style, I like to use naval bombers to help control seaborne operations. I don't think we have any HQ equipment. Yeah, sorry for all this scrolling here. Yeah, HQ equipment we want to put into production. We want to put SS uniforms in production. We want to put mountain equipment in production. I know some of this isn't... I want to check that. We want to put motorcycles into production. Black Ice isn't for every Hearts of Iron player, and I don't mean it to be a... we want to do mountain artillery in production. Don't want to mean it to be sort of an elitist idea that if you don't play Black Ice you're not a good player or worthy. No, it's what you like. It's what you find interesting. Anti-aircraft is now much more effective in the game. I'm just looking here. Yeah, some anti-tank, towed anti-tank, and not just anti-tank rifles and mines. Don't think we need any light infantry equipment yet. I think, do we need reconnaissance equipment? But I already clicked that. No, we need reconnaissance equipment. Okay, so that puts all of that. Now what I want to do is... Sorry guys, Navy is secondary to the Reich. So that's all getting moved down. Way too many things. Wish Navy had its own interface. Trying mostly just to get equipment up and produced. Production lines going without using too much of imported resources. Now, you will also be given via events a bunch of units. But I don't think that's enough. Now, nice. I really like the way Hearts of Iron 4 works with this, in that we're going to cancel. We want that. Motorized. And we're going to send it down to its historical location of the mountain training school down here, the mountain division. They give free units, but they're not free equipment free. They're not manpower free. They just are created, put on the board. They're trained, but they need to, need equipment. So if you're producing enough equipment, they fill up very quickly. If you're not, they create a deficit hole. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode here. This was just the starting, looking at, and setting up of Germany for Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.